everyone! So welcome to my video for today. I am going to be talking about cardio and weight training and how they affect fat loss, because I feel like a huge thing I get asked a lot about is cardio and how much you should do, how much you need to do to lose weight, and all sorts of fun questions. So I figured I'd do a whole video on it, and that way it's kind of just a super simple kind of talk through. So first off, I wanted to talk about how cardio isn't necessarily the key to fat loss. And that's like the biggest thing that most people think. Oh, I want to lose weight, let me go run. And that's not completely true. One thing that has been studied and a lot of people have found out is that weight training has way more calorie expenditure benefits than cardio does. So for example, if I go to the gym and I lift weights for 45 minutes, and another person goes to the gym and they run on the treadmill for 45 minutes. Well, the person on the treadmill, they're only going to have about 40 to 80 calories burned after their workout. However, since I did weight training, I am going to be burning about 10 calories every hour for 36 hours. That's just kind of an average guesstimate. And so this is while I'm doing anything. I could be sitting on the couch watching TV, and for that hour I'm still going to burn 10 extra calories than the person who did cardio. And that may not seem like a lot, but if you think about 10 calories for 36 hours, that's 360 calories. And if you think about that even longer term, so say a month, that's going to be even more. So 360 times 7 for a week, and then that times 4 for 4 weeks in a month, that's way more than the person who just did cardio. Also, when you do cardio, you would have to do like a super long session, and you would only burn between 500 and 800 calories. Well, in order to lose 1 pound of fat, you have to burn 3,500 or so calories. And so, again, this goes back to that weight training. If you weight train, you're going to burn way more calories in the long run than you would have had you done cardio. And so that's like the huge thing that I feel like should be stressed, because people automatically think if you lose weight, or if you want to lose weight, that you need to do cardio. If you want to gain mass, or if you want to gain weight, you lift weights. And it's completely not true. A huge thing that kind of goes with that is that if you do lift weights, you're building lean body mass. And that's like a huge thing people don't really understand much about if you're kind of new to the whole fitness thing. So when you lift weights, you're building muscle, and the more muscle you have, the more calories your body is going to need. So it's going to increase what's called your basal metabolic rate. And so that's how many calories your body needs just to survive. So you could lay in bed all day doing nothing. It's the minimal calories your body needs to actually survive. And so the more muscle your body has, the higher that's going to be. So I think mine's like 1,400 or so. It's somewhere between 1,400 and 1,600. I don't remember exactly right now off the top of my head. But because I have a higher amount of muscle, I am allowed to eat a higher amount of calories, because my body burns a little bit more than the average person. And so that is really key to when you're trying to lose weight, is because where I can eat a little bit more, someone who is not as muscular as me may not be able to eat as much as I do. And when you're trying to lose weight, that's kind of a big deal, because you're over there starving. But anyways, and so kind of another thing to think about when you're a female is when you are gaining muscle, you're not going to get super manly. You're not going to explode. You're not going to look like all the memes of the big, scary bodybuilding women. The average female only gains about 0.5 to 1 pound of muscle a month. It is super, super hard to gain muscle. Like, super hard. It's not as easy as females think it is. You can't just go into the gym, lift a few things, and you're going to get huge. It's not like that at all. And so many women are scared to lift weights because they're scared of what it's going to make their body look like. But I don't think a lot of people realize that if you're a female and you lift weights, it actually gives you a better figure. One of the Instagrammers I follow, she's like me. She is super overweight and lost a ton of weight. And like me, she started with just cardio. And she posted a picture of when she just did cardio, and then after she started implementing weight training, just like I did. And she was the same weight in both pictures, but in the cardio picture she looked so much bigger. And she even said, I basically was a semi-smaller version of myself when I was fat, because her body shape still looked like an overweight person. It wasn't aesthetic, it wasn't a good physique. But once you start weight training, it gives you a different look. It reshapes your body. And I think another thing kind of to be added in there is that you can't spot reduce. You can work certain muscle groups and it'll help them, but if I'm losing weight, I've noticed the first thing that I lose in is my tummy. My arms and my legs and my booty are kind of the last to lose any amount of fat. It's always from my stomach first, and which is nice, but it's not where I want to lose fat all the time. So just kind of throwing that in there. You cannot spot reduce. Another thing kind of to be said is that just because I'm saying you should do weight training doesn't mean you should stop doing cardio. Cardio does have its cardiovascular health benefits. Weight training has its health benefits. You're going to build your muscles. So for women, that's especially important because calcium and osteoporosis is a huge thing for women. I know for me it runs in my family. And so just weight training, I'm building that resistance to disease and stuff like that. But your cardiovascular health is still important. I don't like cardio, but I still do it a few times a week because it's important for my health. One thing that I do like to do, kind of to change things up, and I'll start doing it a lot more when I am training for my figure competition, is doing HIIT style workouts where I'm really working multiple areas at once, kind of like a lot of people call them fat burning workouts, and if you Google it or YouTube it, you'll find a ton of information about it. Lastly, the last thing that I like to implement is supersetting when I weight train. And so that's really just working two different muscle groups within one kind of area. So normally I would do one set of one exercise and then let that be done and then do another set of another exercise. However, when I superset, I do one exercise and then right after it I do the next exercise, and then when I finish it I go back to the first exercise. And so this allows you to get more muscle groups worked at once, and it also kind of increases the pace where you're working a lot harder than you normally would if you just sat there and rest and take your time. So you're kind of just speeding through the process, and it's another really good way to target fat loss. Pretty soon I will be posting a back and bicep workout, and for that workout I did a lot of supersets, and so you'll be able to see what that looks like. I'll do a talk through. If you have any questions about the stuff I talked about today, feel free to comment and I will answer them to the best of my abilities. I hope this was super simple and super easy to understand. Like I said, any questions or comments, just leave them down below. Thanks, guys.